Do you feel like you're in a rut? Maybe you're stressed out, you're anxious, and you're just not happy. Here are 6 life-changing habits that are going to help you thrive in your life now in your 20s and beyond. Number 1, keeping your living area tidy and clean. Now, I know you might have just rolled your eyes at me, but hear me out on this one. Your mind is a direct reflection of your workspace and your living area. If you're finding it hard to think, maybe you're finding it really, really hard to be creative, maybe you can't focus. I promise you, if you put aside a morning or even a day if you have to reorganize, clean, and tidy up your living area, it's gonna pay off in mountains. I guarantee it'll help you think clearer, be more productive, be less anxious, be more inspired and creative, boost your mental health. And I'm not just talking about your mood, I'm talking about your overall thought life. It's gonna help everything. Scientific research has shown, and I've done the research, so you guys don't have to, when we are living in a mess and clutter, our brain's ability to actually process information is greatly, greatly hindered. So tidiness, especially where you can like see it, so like the floor, your like desk, your bed, if those things are tidy, it's going to boost your productivity. Maybe you're thinking,
yeah, okay, Tori, that's great, but I can't afford to take a morning off just to clean up.
And I would say to you, if it's going to help you think clearer, be less stressed, and therefore be more at peace, I mean, how can you afford not to? Having a daily discipline of, let's say, making your bed, tidying your desk, cleaning up around you is a habit that's going to work wonders for not only your mental health, but your physical health. And it's going to help you thrive in your daily life, which is why we're here. Number 2, intentional gratitude. Harvard Medical School published an article last year saying that gratitude is strongly and consistently linked with greater happiness. It helps you feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve your health, and also deal with adversity. I don't know about you, but I want all of those things in my life. I've linked the article in the description below so you can read it in full because it's really good. Maybe you're asking, okay, but Tori, what does this look like practically? Because we're all about being practical here. I recently watched a video with business mogul Stephen Bartlett, who had a guest on Mo Gadot, I hope I said that right, who threw out a challenge actually that for every negative thought in your head, intentionally come up with 9 positive ones. So I'll give you a practical example of something that's just happened. I had spent an hour filming this video, and when I looked at it, I had lipstick all over my teeth. Even though I had checked it before, it had somehow gotten on there. So I was like, I could dwell on the fact that I'm having to do this all over again, or I could think about some positive things. For example, I'm able to probably be a little bit more concise and clear in what I say because I've already been through it. Number 2 could be I feel more confident doing it now because I had already done it before. Number 3 could be maybe I'm able to share like extra stuff that I didn't even think about. So that's actually a practical example of how you can turn something that happened that wasn't great and actually look at it and think of the good things. So whether you do it by either speaking it out loud, I am a firm believer that a lot of times, it's important for your brain to hear you say positive things. Or maybe you think it in your head, or maybe you're someone who prays. This will become a habit that's going to radically shift your mindset from maybe someone who used to look at a glass half empty, and maybe you're someone who complains a lot, to a person who doesn't get consumed when things don't go right. And actually you can appreciate the sometimes hidden blessings that you never got to see before. Number 3, ask yourself the hard questions. So this comes under the category of self-awareness. And honestly, self-awareness could be a video all on its own, and I'm sure in the future it will be. Practicing the art of being self-aware in your 20s is going to put you in such a strong position as you journey through adulthood. I really didn't start grasping being self-aware until probably my late 20s. I wish I had learnt and practiced it before. Whatever age you're at, you can start now. Yes, hearts. But hold up, what is self-awareness? In essence, being self-aware is the art of being objective. And being objective means that you're not influenced by your own personal feelings and opinions. That's a hard one. As humans, I think it's very, very hard for us to be objective about ourselves because we have a lot of feelings and emotions and thoughts about who we think we are and maybe who we want to be. We also live in a culture where our feelings are king, And our feelings are really what usually rules how we behave and react. Being self-aware means that you are able to objectively, not being influenced by our own personal feelings and opinions, able to assess your own actions, your reactions, your thoughts, your behaviors, and how it aligns with your eternal values. Now, your eternal values are something that you need to decide for yourself. Now, my internal values are based on my faith, because my faith is the biggest part of my life. For you, it might be something completely different, but it's up to you to decide what your internal values are. Also, being self-aware can help you understand how you're coming across to others. Because oftentimes we can think we're coming across in one way, and actually we are coming across in a whole other way that we didn't know, and it's probably not good. So this all starts by asking yourself the hard question. I'll put a link below of a site I found that actually had a list of really good questions. So here are some examples of some questions that you can ask yourself. Are your actions mostly guided by love or by fear? Who are you most jealous of and why? Do you surround yourself with people who lift you up or who bring you down? What compliment do you like hearing the most and why? You'd be surprised what you'll learn about yourself actually if you properly take the time to ask yourself these self-awareness questions. I'd recommend that you journal or find a way to record your answers, maybe using a voice note. Maybe you'll discover a strength that you didn't know that you had. Or maybe you'll finally find the reason why certain situations are such a trigger to you, because we all have those. By the way, I would love to know from you, what is a daily habit that you live by? And also, if you're finding this video useful, then I really appreciate you hitting on that like. If you'd like to join our ever-growing family, then make sure you subscribe. Number 4, find a routine that works for you. We were wired for routine and not chaos. Our brains thrive on a set routine. Maybe you need to do a little bit of trial and error to find out what routine actually best works for you. I'd recommend you at least sticking to your routine during the week, and of course having your weekends free and open. Here's a power move though. List your priorities for the season you're in and use those components to build your routine. For example, I'm in a season where YouTube and being consistent on YouTube is a really big priority for me. So I need to structure my routine around that. There is a big but though, and I will get to that at the end of this point. Research has shown that routines actually help to minimize uncertainty. And uncertainty oftentimes can turn our brains into a fight or flight mode. Our brains like feeling in control. I know mine especially loves feeling in control. And a set routine is actually one way we can take control of our daily lives and make them less unpredictable. This also helps with anxiety, stress, and we can all use less of those. Maybe it'll help you visually to see what's going on in your week by calendar blocking, or perhaps you could use a vertical planner. Both I have found have helped me. Think about it. When you were in your school years, there was a comfort knowing that your weekdays were already planned out. You knew that school started at a specific time and ended at a specific time, Monday to Friday, without fail. Now, you might not have enjoyed school, but you at least knew what to expect Monday to Friday. Sometimes for us creatives, entrepreneurs, even the self-employed, we don't have a boss or a 9 to 5, so it's up to us to create a productive and healthy routine. And this will be a habit that will not only set you up to thrive in your week, but it's also going to set you up for success. So here's the big but. Not that one. There's also a school of thought that says that switching up your routine is just as important for your brain. Now here's why. We can all get stuck in a rut. Being stuck in a routine that doesn't ever change is just as unhealthy as not having one. And one way to break out of that and to start thriving again is to change up the routine. So if you already have a set way that your week works, why not get a little wild and crazy? Maybe you have been going to the gym in the mornings for like this last year. Maybe you start going to the gym at night. Maybe instead of working at home in the afternoons, you take yourself out and you work in a coffee shop. Whatever it is for you, get your mind to be challenged. Force your mind to solve new problems. There's a famous old English proverb that I like to live my life by, especially when I'm getting a haircut, and that is, a change is as good as a rest. It's important to switch it up, to change things. It will really help just to refresh yourself, your mind, and your routine if you switch it up. Number 5, be generous with your praise. Now, I'm a big advocate of this habit because we live in a world where people take to complaining way too easily. One of the keys to leading yourself well, which is what we're all about here in this channel, is learning how to be generous with your praise. My dad used to call it being a good finder in life. A practical example of how I live this out, I'm at the hospital a lot. And every time I get a really great nurse or a consultant who's just treated me so well, once I get home, well, it's still fresh in my head, and that's really key. I write a letter or an email to whoever's higher up in the hospital, telling them exactly who it was and the kind of great care that I got. You'd be shocked, actually, who will write back to you because you took the time to send in a report of praise and of encouragement rather than just complaining. I've been told that young nurses who I had and that who I wrote about have actually used my letter as letters of recommendation for getting some amazing new jobs. That for me just fills my heart with so much joy. So I dare you, instead of trying to find reasons to complain about things, because let's be honest, we could complain about a lot of stuff. Instead, focus on the situations and the people who have been compassionate, who have gone above and beyond, who have given you great customer service or care, and shine a light on that. Do whatever you can to draw attention to that and make them look good and feel good. People will always take the time to complain. I challenge you to be that person, to instead be generous with your praise. It's really going to change your outlook. Number 6. Get comfortable with being on your own. Maybe you're single or in a relationship, whether you're in a busy household like I am. Get comfortable with being on your own. This is such a big habit to get into in your 20s. Take yourself out to eat, go see a movie, go get a coffee and read, go try a new hobby, go take yourself on vacation alone, as long as it's safe. It is so important in your 20s that you become okay with being on your own. Because people often rush into bad relationships and unhealthy situations because they fear being on their own. They always need people around them. This is the opposite of thriving. And in fact, you'll end up leaning on those people more and more, which is not healthy. And guess what? You are great company. And the other thing is that the person you're going to be spending the most quality time with in your life is going to be you. So you might as well just enjoy it. Put a date with yourself in your routine to take yourself out on a date. Maybe this is where you can go and clear your head and ask yourself some of those self-awareness questions that we talked about before. I promise you, this habit will not only help you thrive in the life that you're in right now, but it's going to help you thrive in future relationships, because no one wants to be around someone who is constantly having to cling on to them, because you're going to suck the life right out of a relationship. Get comfortable with being on your own. I promise you it will pay dividends in your 30s and beyond. So that's 6 life-changing habits to help you thrive in your 20s. But again, these habits are things you can pick up at any age. Tune into my next video where I will be exploring different products to help improve your day. You don't want to miss it.